Okay, perfect. Can everyone, let's see. Oh man. Man, you would think I know how to use this since I've Okay, for those that are on camera, I can see it now over here. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see this the slide? Okay, perfect. And I can see you. So, welcome again to the Wildcats HC Spring Hockey Team and Spring League. This year we'll have 16, well, we'll have 17 teams, I believe. Um, we've expanded again, which yeah, we just had a great spring last year, and again we're building our community, trying to develop players as best we can, and coaching is super important as well to mentor and work with the kids on leadership and that stuff. And of course, hockey is our main focus for the kids to improve, and of course, um, build their passion and improve at. Of course, that's one of the big things that we all are here today. The reason why we're here today, and that's what's special about hockey. So I will share my, so you can see it. That's why. Okay, so for those that are returning, this is our logo, and for those that are new, we are the Wildcats. Um, here's a list of our head coaches for pretty well all our teams. We have managers Elizabeth Page, Allison Kernan, and Kristen Dawson. Keely Shaw as well. She's a big help with our admin staff and myself. And we have parent team managers for each team that will help out um, in assistance to these three managers and myself as well. So we have a 2017 and 18 team will be our youngest. We have multiple age groups, similar to the past 3 years, and we will have a 2009 team. And as mentioned, we'll have two female teams, a U13 and a U18 team. We have two teams in Cowichan this year, Cowichan Wildcats. So I believe I've seen some of them on the call. So yeah, very exciting. Again, it brings for sure Greater Victoria, but definitely our island together, building a community. The kids love making new friends, especially it seems like after their bonding times and after the first tournament. Always after the first tournament, it usually takes something like that for them to just kind of see what it's like, and even the challenges, the ups and certainly the downs. And right from there, everyone can't wait for that second and potentially the third tournaments and however many each team is going to do. But that also there are some players and some teams. It definitely humbles us. It's great to see the talent. Um, Usually when we go to Vancouver first or wherever the teams will go, lots of skill and lots of young players that can play at a young age. And again, I know there's lots of players listening. It's super important for you to know that just because you may be on top or say in the middle or at the bottom of your team, your age group, or wherever you are, there's always someone else out there that is better. So that should be a mentality for you to continue to be hungry and want to keep improving with hockey. And hockey can take you many different places. As we just got back with the U13 Admirals from China, an excellent trip. The first year that we did it was last year, went really, really well. This year we went again and we added on a trip to Beijing that was terrific, and lots of happy kids and the parents as well. And it was a phenomenal trip. So we're hoping that we can continue to we'll say provide or create opportunities for families and kids around here to do so. Not only that's a winter season one, but hopefully with our Wildcats in the future here. So lots more coming, and I think that's what's exciting for everyone. So these are the head coaches, assistant coaches here. So say a little bit subject to change, but most of these head coaches are in, and we have a lot more support for assistant coaching this year. We That's something that is a little different this year, where we had lots of parent support, which is amazing. We will have some parent support, especially in the younger ages, but the head coaches will and myself will kind of manage with that. Again, thanks to all of you that are involved in the program, but also help out with anything, coaching, score clock, reffing, setting up things. I know there's lots of parents that just want to help and do a great job of that. Um, and even even little things, just like what we did was the fundraising for China, so things like that. And the kids should feel very lucky. So today we have guest speakers today. Scott Hillman. He's my former coach with the Indy Fuel and the ECHL. Geez, what was I? I think I was about 6 year pro. So he's a former professional head coach for a long time and a leadership consultant that he does. We have Louis Leblanc, NCAA Harvard alum that played there, played against Louis, and he's a NHL Montreal Canadiens first round pick. He is retired. Chen is also a Harvard alum, and she's going to come on and talk about her business Letterly. It's a writing platform. Our local women's NCAA, Megan Bouveur, will be coming on as well from Long Island University. She has skated with us before as well with the BW stuff. And we'll have Aaron Mackenzie, who's a he's an old teammate from the Surrey Eagle days in 2004. Aaron was a champion in the BCHL with Surrey. I was traded, unfortunately, early in our second season to Power, but Aaron is an assistant coach and assistant GM with the USPHL Iron County Yetis team. So he'll just chat a little bit about his program and just yeah, just letting you know that be more aware of what's going on out there. Right. So I'll just introduce myself. I added this on this year. I think sometimes get talking about other things and about kids and all these things. But my name's Brandon Wong. I started this BW hockey in 2017. Was very fortunate to work with a small amount of players while I was playing. Something I've done my whole life, and not for money, not as a business, but yeah, just kind of how I was raised, a little bit of being a mentor um, for yeah hockey players and kids. So yeah, and I was lucky to have mentors as a hockey player. Just that's all I ever thought about and wanted to play in the NHL since I was probably 9 or 10 years old. That was the mindset. So I played 9 years professionally from 2010 to 2019. I started my young hockey career with the Victoria Racket Club in the U7, which was novice back then, to U15 in Bantam. Um, Lots of fun times and certainly, um, yeah, just gained lots of experience and was around lots of coaches and teammates and friends that I still have today. Um, then I went to the VIJHL Victoria Cougars in 2002. Which was a huge year. It was always a good player for Victoria and Greater Victoria for the age group. Again, I always made the AAA team as a first year, but sometimes I didn't play as much. A small player, and I even just for the players, I would work out in my room when I was probably about I'd say about 9, 10 years old, doing body weight stuff, push-ups, sit-ups and squats. I like to call the squats Jagger squats, where I used to watch him on video doing like jump squats, and that's just where you get it's a plyometric, but your legs and your quads are burning a lot. So I used to do a lot of that stuff early on, um, just out of just wanting to get better at hockey, and I just saw a lot of um, the NHLers will say do that stuff. So early on, I was doing that, and then once I started working out into Bantam, I actually started with Jeff Compton back when he used to run some stuff. And then VIGHL year was a huge year for myself where Craig Dimon was my head coach. And I started on the third line with a couple of, we'll say, older but bigger, tough guys that could fight. So that was pretty interesting. And it allowed myself, a smaller forward, to kind of get used to junior hockey for, we'll say, 1 to 2 months, and then earn my way up into say the first line with a couple players, Mark Van Helvoort and Jeff Irwin. We finished the year as 1, 2, 3 in the scoring. They were 1, 2, and I came along there and got Rookie of the Year. So very, very um, strong and building year for myself to be able to take that jump 1 year from the BIJHL Junior B to the BCHL, 3 seasons, Surrey, Power, Merritt. Um, I was saying at the time that was probably the best time of my life, BCHL. So much fun moving around BC, meeting tons of different players and friends. And I mean, I played on 3 teams in 3 years, so I was a bit of a suitcase, which is really funny on how all that works out. But in today's in the job that I do today and just where I am, it's actually fortunate to be on different teams and meet different people. But I think while you're playing, you want to try and perform to do well and stay on one team. Um, but hey, and June, hockey is a business, so you can get traded even if you are playing really well. And then I earned a full scholarship to the NCAA, ECAC Quinnipiac University. We play in the Ivy Leagues there. Um, I did not think I would ever have gotten to something like that. And what happened? Jeez. First year did extremely well. I trained so hard on my own the spring, summer before, and ended up having it's probably my best year of hockey in my first year, and scored 27 goals and I think I had like 41 points or something like that as a rookie. Uh, 27 goal. I think some players top scores in each. I mean, I don't even know what they're at these days, but say if you score even 15 to 20 goals in NCAA hockey, that's really good because you play less games than junior hockey. Junior hockey usually play about 70 to 80 games, and in NCAA, you're pro at most with playoffs, you're playing like 40, 45. So, and some of the Ivies play 30. So, incredible experience going down to the States, both for hockey, but also networking and meeting different friends and just how the college system works down there. And super fun. Lots of friends. Just talked to my old roommate yesterday and him and his family. From there, AHL Grand Rapids Griffins, which is the Detroit Red Wings farm team, Hartford Wolfpack, New York Rangers farm team, both awesome experiences there. Um, Getting to play with a lot of great players. Abdicator, Brad May, geez, who else? Thomas Tatar, who still plays. And that team went on to, I would say, about half to 3/4 of the team went on to be able to play games in the NHL, or they stuck in the NHL. And so it's cool to see that type of talent and skill level and what it took to be a pro. And then Hartford Wolfpack, again, I'd say about half to 3/4 games in NHL or played. Dane Byers is one. His brother Cole Byers lives here in Victoria. He's sponsors with the Rack. Um, Cole is our 2009 coach this year, and Dane was on that. I was up and down with the New York Rangers and Hartford Wolfpack, so he was down there. And players that some of you might know is Matt Zuccarello, Dale Weist played for the Canucks and Montreal Canadiens. Who else was there? Lots of players. Wade Redden was a big mentor. Wade Redden and Brad May were probably the two mentors that I've had in pro hockey that when I was really young and new, just to be able to chat with them, watch them play as they were experienced NHLers. And then these teams, ECHL, I played for Greenville Road Warriors, South Carolina Stingrays, Tulsa Oilers, Indy Fuel. Played in Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Australia, Russia, and China in over 9 years. So lots of lots of travel, lots of practices, and lots of development and improvement as trying to play in the big leagues in the NHL. Didn't make the NHL, but went to Ottawa Senators training camp with all they were a really good team back then. Eric Carlson, Bobby Ryan, what's his name? Pajot, who's still playing now. Yeah, there's a few others that were there. Mark Stone as well. He was a big name. And shoot, I forget the scores name. Anyways, they had tons of prospects that I went up against. So that was kind of the theme of my whatever you want to say, the next level AHL experience. I was able to play with next level players that were going to play in the NHL eventually. So I was all about multi-sport, played golf, baseball for Les Ritz, tennis for the high school team. I played lots of roller hockey up until the U14, like Team Pacific stuff, and here. And the big one is street hockey, which is kind of like ball hockey. So ball hockey is a big thing is just going out on the road and just shooting on the net. Had my brother net and all different people. Um, yeah, and just that was just kind of the my favorite thing to do. And that's where a lot of the skills that came from. So hopefully I can influence you players to do more and shoot pucks at home, stick handle, watch hockey, watch some of your favorite teams and favorite players. And yeah, just things like that will all add up. And it's a big mindset and to go far in most things, and we'll talk hockey, that you have to eventually really love it and what you're doing, and it's the grind of it. It's all hard work, and some things might not go your way, like you might get cut from a team, the coach may not play you, some tough things that I went through, and you got to try to never give up and be resilient. All right, so this is the spring outlook. We start right away here, March 15th. Mid to end, we'll finish mid to end of June, two tournaments each, with some teams having optional tournaments that they'll go to. We have approximately 16 practice or exhibition games. We'll have 16 BW hockey skill sessions in the Spring Skills Academy. You will all get a coupon code pretty soon here to sign up for those. You should all be getting it started today, but in your team snaps, you'll get the practices in there. I believe last I talked to managers that a couple hours ago that they were on 2012, I believe, putting them in. So we'll have that. The practices during spring break are optional, but we suggest you that you be there as spring comes very fast, and we've had turns early August, and we went there unprepared before with just how everything lined up. So being ready to play in the spring is very important. Kids push to be in top shape, can be doing extra skills at home, as I just mentioned to you. We hope to, in our practices, as much as there may be some warm-up stuff, skills, a little bit of skill stuff, but learning the three zones, offensive zone, neutral zone, defensive zone, and the details of that stuff. A lot of different tactics and game situations, learning some power play and penalty kill, some high performance. We would like you to be high performance athletes and quality character habits. Coaches will be setting some of your rules. I believe some of the coaches will also have whether it's a Zoom call or meeting with you, parents meeting with you, just to kind of set a little bit of some expectation stuff. The dress code for games would be awesome. Is really this isn't just about being like wearing suits all the time, but it's to be presentable. How a lot of whether I was how I was raised or just as I went through the hockey journey, putting a little more effort into a little bit of how you look and all that stuff, that can go a long way. Whether that's in hockey, whether that's in your future jobs or meeting people or anything. So kind of like slacks or pants, no joggers, preferably no jeans, but you can talk to your coach about that. Some button-up shirts, collared shirts. You can wear suits. We've had players that have suits or wear them. You can wear ties with that, and some dress shoes or just some nice shoes, preferably not running shoes. And players no hats as well if possible. This year we will have BW goalie only, or sorry, we've had BW only goalie sessions, but we will be adding goalie coaching at some of the BW skill sessions. Not all, but definitely more. We have added some some goalie coaching, and there's more in the Greater Victoria that have started some goalie coaching. So no players in the pool before games as we're there to play some hockey and focus on that. Yes, at some points in the tournament you will be able to go in the pool, but again, we're there for hockey and we want to save our energy and legs for our games. Coaches will share the team rules again. Players, for those that do have cell phones, please limit in the dressing rooms, hang out with your teammates. Um, that's something that we need to learn because as you get older, it's super important to be able to talk to each other and let's stay off the screens. Um, One thing that's still adding just over time is a little bit of suggestion to parents. There's always questions about their players. Also, just continuing to be educated and understanding hockey. Yes, of course, there's always those political things, but if I can suggest something is watching games at the next level, one or two without your kids maybe, and going to what's at the next level. So if your player is in U13 and their next, whether it be the year after or 2 years after, they're going to U15. If you can watch some of those games and what it's like coming rather than just watching your player only and watching someone else's player or whoever, I think is a great step to understanding what that may look like and what's ahead for them. But also, sometimes there's always questions of why a player may not have made a team or something like that. Um, and then also the BW Hockey and Wildcat store for additional apparels there. You all received an email. Trying to get through this before we get Scott on. So our philosophy and objectives, development and always learning mentality, learning for the next seasons to come. That's where our coaches come in and try to uh, educate, teach the kids through drills, explain things, and that type of thing. Again, a lot of we want to also add in that leadership and mentorship stuff. So personally, just like myself, when we start for the kids that are here, for a long time running the skill sessions, I really when we before as the Zamboni doors are shut. When the kids do go on the ice, I like the kids set up the ice for ownership of their own. At the end of the session, unless we're rushing or something like that, I'd like the kids to help pick up the pucks. A lot of that stuff can lead to more to doing things on their own. Something I'll share, I haven't done this as a whole, but I've done this to some parents, but in our hockey camp stuff, um, the kid once it's pretty amazing to watch because I remember doing the Victoria Summer Camp where it's really busy. Last year we had like 100 kids at it, but it's had been sold out for 4 years now. And the group ones, when the parents are in there, it's the kids really rely on the parents to help them with all their gear and their skates. But the second ice time, especially, and even sometimes when the parents, help them put their stuff on and then kind of leave, it's amazing to see the kids put on their own gear. Like they can do it. And I've seen it and I'm like, this is unreal. Like, and I have to share this with the parents because like when mom or dad is there, they just, mom can and dad, can you just do it for me because you're here? But really, I've seen some young kids and they're, small and very young looking. They can do it for themselves. So it's quite interesting that way. And what we like to push that way is, it becomes their thing and their ownership. That will get them a little more ahead and a little more advantage in trying to get to those next levels as that just creates I don't know what this is a challenge for them to yeah, make it their thing and rather than just relying on everyone all the time. So all players contribute to the team. We strive to win together. This has been going great for all 4 years that we've been doing this. For someone of the older ages, we and a little bit younger, we do allow the coaches to situationally play some players, like just say we're down by one goal, or if it's a 6-on-5 or something like that. They choose some players to go out the door, but other than that, we haven't had really any issues with that. So it's been great. Again, our model is about development, so we'd get lots of skill sessions, lots of practices, and the two tournaments, which is, anywhere between probably about 10 to 12 games, depending how they do. We expect all players to play with pride, understand the special opportunity. Coaches will demand full effort, focus, respect, and eagerness to learn. So, players really, really think about that. Um, you all love the game and like to play it and being at the rink and with others, your friends, but sometimes we forget a little bit, and there is some issues that we have. So make sure we're taking the opportunity to appreciate what you have. And you're working with former junior players, former college players, and former NHLers. We have a former NHL coach. We have this year a head coach, and we have other players that have been to NHL training camps and all that stuff. So you're very lucky to have access to them. As back in the day when I was there, we really didn't have much of that, and you had to know someone. But now there's a lot of the um, whatever you want to say, the social media and the messaging and that stuff that you can connect with people a little easier. New friends and teammates was recognized by a lot of families, which helps grow individuals as well, making the fall winter season fun to play against each other, which is great. And lots of talk between the kids and the parents when that happens. For example, wonder if you could playing Admirals, wonder if you could playing Peninsula, Racket Club, playing the Admirals, and so on. Uh, our philosophy as well is players must be versatile as they grow, cannot be in one position, center only. They must know some defense, forwards, or especially our younger ages, we want them to do so. Um, and we want them to grow and understand the game and have different perspectives. A pretty cool story. In my first year of junior, when I was 17, one of our players got cut in training camp. Tyler Eckford and Aaron Mackenzie, who you'll meet, knows of him. And he got cut as a forward. I think he took like a day or two off. We needed a player again. They picked him up and signed him. I think it was before the season. They made him a D man, and he had an unbelievable season that year. And I believe that was the season he was drafted in the New Jersey Devils. If not, it was the year after that. So he switched positions, and he was a big D man, probably 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", and yeah, pretty big and strong. And he did phenomenal and got drafted in the NHL. So different random things like that can change a lot. Play against the odds. Many dedicated local players here get to Junior B, the VIJHL, have the mindset to get to the levels and don't settle, do the extra work while no one is watching, and don't give up. So, again, just pushing you all to do more and more. Players, be proud to be a Wildcat. We are lucky to have bar down jerseys and all the contributors. Again, thank you to all the sponsors, team sponsors, but also charity sponsors that have helped out. Be prepared, ready to go. Spring hockey is very competitive and a beast of a season. Again, I say this every meeting. You'll probably play against in Vancouver or somewhere, one of these things that eventually someone in the tournament will probably be playing in the NHL one day. There's a lot of that stuff. Adapt to new teammates, introduce yourself, ask questions. This is leadership. When you have an AP playing, or if you have a new player that's coming in, try to say hi to them, maybe shake their hand. That will be a good start. If you are not happy with where you're on the team, again, say you're T1 at the bottom or T2 or where, right? Top half, bottom half players, there's mid players as well, right? If you cannot be impactful in these areas, and it's not just goals and assists, it's what you do with and without the puck. But if you can, to be a top player in team, if you're not the top player in team, you need more time and development to perform this. That's super important. Um, we've only had one player that probably he played on our T1 team our first year, Eddie Spitz. He was now playing in the WHL. He was drafted, but he had the puck all the time, and he dominated. And that was probably one of our only players that actually really, really, you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if he fits out here, so say. But what we had with him going around is he was he was a great leader in the dressing room. That's what we focused on, and the players that were playing with him, they're all friends because they played together, but um, they just looked up to him, and that's what kind of we challenged him in the locker room, being a leader and that type of thing. Um, don't waste time skating around. Um, no puck plays, checking only at a low pace you're not quite ready for at the next level. Try to warm up before skill sessions, workouts, practicing games. I know a lot of goalies are really good at this stuff, but I think if players can do this stuff at home, shooting at home, you can do as well. Stick handling at home, and I always give her a shout out. But Lila Halstead is very good at this stuff. She's there before practices, games, no matter what it is, all the time early. Um, and we just need more players to continue to dedicate themselves to do that stuff. It's super important, and that's where you can find yourselves at the next level. And it just shows dedication to yourself, and eventually others, coaches and them will see that as well. We have 16 BW hockey spring skill sessions. So if you would like more, you can email us or contact us and you will get more at a discounted rate. Again, this is big one for the kids. We had one issue last year, dressing rooms, actually a couple issues. There will be no tolerance for bullying or racism in there. Again, we can try to continue to educate you kids on examples of this, but we've had that in the past, and we all need to respect each other. Even some friends get into it, so we got to think. And for those of you that can step up and be leaders, let's make sure that each player, has respect, and that we're not doing too many so say stupid things or goofy things. You will miss time, and it will be up to the managers and coaches. Okay, last part before we get going on. I am a little late. Reminders, the BW Break Hockey Camp is coming up next week, March 17th to 21st. We have our Soup Camp, March 24th to 26th, which is focused on offensive game skills, defensive game skills, and three-on-three competition. Then our Spring Skills Academy that you will be attending. Our summer development starts July and August, and our Victoria West Hills Summer Camp, August 4th to 8th. BW Hockey's Lake Couching Camp, August 18th to 22nd, and then we will start up again with our fall winter training and our Wildcats ID stuff in September and goes right till March. Um, One more little shout out to IBHA ball hockey. Um, there is ball hockey in town as well. That's something you might want to look into. I don't think and we do have players playing in that. I don't think the commitment is too crazy. One, maybe two sessions each week. There is Greater Victoria Ball Hockey, a minor, and they're starting up Cowichan, Nanaimo, Port Aubrey, and North Island. I know some of you aren't up there, but we do have two Cowichan teams. But again, some of you have friends, and just trying out ball hockey and trying to promote the game as well. So we'll let Scott Hillman come on. We are backed up, but Scott, if you're on, please. And
I'm here.
there he is.
Brandon, Coach Brandon, how are you?
Good.
Give me a time frame here.
Oh, you got time. 10, 15 minutes if you want, but if you can be quicker, we got Jane and Louie coming on, but appreciate you coming on. I'll let you introduce yourself. Been a long time since 2016, I think, when we were at the Indian
Yeah,
School there. But yeah, you've had a long hockey coaching career, but I'm sure you've been up to a lot more with what you're doing now and your leadership consulting.
yeah, absolutely. So thanks for being here. It's a real honor. Great group here. Love what you're doing. To the kids and the parents, you're super lucky. I had to work really hard to get Brandon on my team. Had to trade for him. I had competed against him for a few years as he was scoring goals against us all the time in a few different leagues. So it was a great honor to bring Brandon into our club. I I think I just sat on and heard his full story, right? And mine's kind of similar to that. I grew up in southern Ontario, Windsor, southern tip of Canada, I guess, and um, I had a passion for the game. Like I see the kids' eyes on this call. I remember being your age, and we didn't have a leader like Brandon in our community that could really help us. So I think you're all in a great spot. Um, but what I had was super supportive parents. They didn't know a lot about the game, but they supported the game, and I think that's crucial from our parents' sake. And for you as kids, you got to be super thankful. This is the greatest game in the world, without question, right? Like hockey players are the best people in the world. And you're playing a game that is super fun, super fast. You got to be super skilled, balanced, in great shape, like you name it, right? People say it all the time. Hockey players are the best people in the world, maybe some of the best athletes, and we have this unique skill set. But I like what Brandon said too. He played a lot of different sports. And I know you guys might be so involved in hockey that you think hockey, hockey, hockey all the time. That's cool. But make sure you're still like going to the tennis court and hitting balls, right? Playing basketball with your buddies in the park. Maybe you don't have time for the leagues. Like I played every single sport for real, like Brandon did. That's what we did back then. I'm old, right? But you can still be outside all the time. If you have a phone, put it down and go outside and do something all the time because that's your advantage, right? What are the rest of the kids in the world doing? Sitting on their phones. I've got three teenagers. They spend a lot of time on their phones. My middle guy is a hockey player. He never touches it unless it's dark out because he's just working out all the time, right? And that's not because I'm telling him to. It's what he loves to do because he loves the game just like you guys do. So you got to think about your advantage. And to me, in this day and age, the advantage is being active. And if your parents are telling you, hey, go shoot pucks, you're losing the battle, right? Your parents should be telling you, stop shooting pucks, it's time to eat, right? You should be all the time stick handling, shooting. If you're not doing your schoolwork, you should be doing your hockey work, right? And that involves watching hockey, finding a player that inspires you. Who do you want to play like? Who can you play like? Right? My favorite player, I'm old again, but my favorite player was Mario Lemieux. Well, he's a 6'5" forward, and I was a 5'6" defenseman. Right? But I watched the game all the time. That just happened to be my favorite player. But what I want to share with you is I had no chance to be a pro player. But somehow I played 10 years of pro hockey and coached for 10 more years as a head coach. The only thing that got me there was my desire and commitment and love for the game, right? When other kids were, you know, just hanging with friends, I was like jumping picnic tables in the backyard, inviting my friends to come over and work out in the basement, inviting my friends over to shoot pucks. And I had that rhythm. My parents, it drove them crazy. We had the old school basement, nothing down there, cinder block wall, and every single day, 100 wrist shots, 100 slap shots, 100 backhand shots, 100 snap shots, like just, and they had to say, Scott, stop shooting pucks, come eat, right? So that's, unless you're so supremely gifted, which so few of us are, it's just going to be your commitment, your love, your passion that allows you to make the most out of this game. And I encourage you. I see what you're doing now. You're young faces. You're playing spring hockey. You've got a great leader. You've got a good organization. You've got supportive parents, and that you just got to channel that right. What do you love most? If you love most hockey, if that's your thing, do it to the very best of your ability. Right. And I think that's what makes hockey fun. It's what makes hockey great. I think about again being some of your ages and watching kids that are your age now, and the kids that are having the most fun on the ice do the best, right? If you, it shouldn't be like You're so mad if you don't play good. We want to play good all the time, but you want to just make sure you're having fun, because coming back the next day after a terrible game, that's what gets you ahead. You're just back the next day. So you can't beat yourself up when you have a bad game. And parents, don't beat the kids up when they have a bad game, right? Like, things happen, bad days happen, bad shifts happen, and we think about that as coaches too, right? Like, if a good player has a bad shift, do you sit them down for a long time and make them think about that tough shift they had, or do you throw them right back out there? And different coaches think different ways. I kind of think you put them back out there and let them kind of fix that. But for young kids, go out there, have fun. But I do believe you have to take it serious, even though you're young, right? So be committed, be a great teammate, be curious about your teammates, right? One of the things, my son is 18 years old, right? He's playing junior hockey. And one of the things I'm always asking him, not how many points he got, not how many assists he got. He likes to get penalty minutes too. Not how many penalty minutes he got. I like to ask, what did you learn about a teammate today? You're the captain of the team. What did you learn about that third liner that doesn't play too much? Right? Because as hockey players, I will be my best as a hockey player when the other people on the ice are at their best. Right? If your line mate's playing terrible, can you be good? Let me see your heads nod. If your line mate's playing terrible, will you play your best if your line mate's playing terrible? Yes or no? It's hard to play your best when your line mate's not playing good. It's really hard. My role as the center, let's say I'm the center, I was never the center, but let's say I was a center. If I play really well, is my right winger going to play better? Yes or no? If I'm playing really good as a center, is my right winger going to play good? Good chance. Good chance he's going to play good, because I'm going to give him the puck. I'm going to move. I'm going to get open. I'm going to communicate, right? So the way we can play the best is to help our line mates and our teammates be the best, right? I believe that wholeheartedly. So I think about something often. Do you want to be the best, or do you want to be your best? Give me a one. Do you want to be the best, or do you want to be your best? A one or a two? Wow, I love the twos. One's a good answer too. I'll be honest. If you can be the best, great. But there's only a few guys: Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux. Those guys were the best. But number two, if you're your best, your line mate can also be their best. And your other line mate can be their best. And your 2D men back there can be their best. And the goalie can be their best. And your coach can be their best. And then guess what happens if we're all their best? Are we the best? 100% we're the best. You can't stop us. We're unstoppable. So you can't help someone necessarily be the very best player in the world, but you can certainly help them be their best, right? So if your left winger is their best and I'm playing center and I'm my best and the right winger is their best, are we the best line in the league? Probably. Probably, even if we play against Connor McDavid. Because us three, we're unstoppable, right? So when your buddy makes a mistake, what should we do? You guys have probably seen on social media that clip where Malkin misses that open net, right, on the side of the net. You guys have seen this clip. And they're showing Crosby on the bench. And Crosby looks to everybody and says, lay off. He wanted to score, but he didn't score. Us making fun of him, us getting hard on him. The kid wants to score. Malkin, he scores all the time, right? So I want you to remember that and think about when your teammate's having a tough day, what do I do? How do I affect him to help him be his best, her best? right? That's what we can do. That's the power, and that's what hockey is, right? And if everyone has that attitude when you're together, you're all going to get better, right? You're all going to achieve that next level. Again, I was the kid that I was too small to play hockey. I ended up spending 20 years in pro hockey. Like I had people from the time I was 10 years old saying, pick another sport, kid, right? Like you're too small, you can't do it. And I just wouldn't stop. I loved the game. And my parents just like had no expectation and just supported me. You want to go to the rink? I'll drive you to the rink, right? Stop shooting pucks, come up and eat, right? Go outside. Yeah, go outside. Now I'm playing road hockey. Brandon said it, right? Ball hockey, street hockey, playing on the tennis courts, on my rollerblades all the time. You couldn't stop me because I just loved the game, right? And I never stopped loving it. I still love it, right? So believe in yourself. That's number one. Thank your parents. That should be number one, but I got it number two because it's super important. You are so lucky to have parents that put you in this great game and drive you to the rink all the time and buy your gear. Like it's a lot. It's a lot, right? So that's super important. Number three, be the very best teammate, right? Think of yourself as the captain, even if you're not the captain. And what makes a great captain is the player that helps the other teammates have their best day. Think about that video. Malkin misses the easy tapping goal, and the team's all over him. But what's the captain do? Crosby says, whoa, settle down. He wanted to score. He didn't score. Lay off, right? That's got to be our attitude. That's got to be our attitude. That's how a great teammate acts. It's how the captain acts. And that's what will get you to be a captain. And I want you to think about, is it most important to be the best, or is it most important to be your best? Right? Because we can all, only one teammate can be the very best on the team, right? I don't want to be just that guy, that girl. I want all of us to be our best, because if we are, then our team will be the best, right? It doesn't take the most talented group of players to win a championship. It takes the best team to win a championship, right? And we've seen that over and over and over. Hockey is the hardest sport to predict who's going to win the Stanley Cup. Almost every other sport, pretty easy to figure out. Pretty easy to figure out. The most talented team wins in most other sports. I'd argue with anybody on that. Hockey, you have no idea. The team that's going to win the Stanley Cup is the team that just like gels together at the right time. All the pieces fit together. Someone blocks a crazy shot with their teeth and loses their teeth and comes back and plays the third period. Like that's hockey, baby. That doesn't happen in other sports. That's the turning, right? So the best gals, the best guys working together, caring about each other, that's what makes hockey champions. And that's why Brandon's still in the game. I guarantee it. It's why I still participate in the game after all these years. So I'm rambling a bit, but I hope you take from this, like your life is in front of you. Enjoy this great game. Be thankful to your parents. Learn about your teammates and be a great teammate. That will allow you to go as far as you want. If you never quit this game, you'll play at a high level. I promise you. There's so many of us. All we did is just, we didn't quit. We kept going. We kept going. We kept going. You want to go to college and play university or college hockey? Just keep trying. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. There's a level for everybody. There really is. It's a great game that you can play for your whole life. So I know we all want to play in the PWHL or the NHL. Good luck to you on that. I cheer for you. But even if we don't make it there, there's hockey everywhere. Look at Brandon's resume. He played in how many different countries? Were you paying attention? How many countries? Give me fingers. Was it one? Nope. Two? Nope. It was way more than that. I think it was around five. Imagine that. Picture yourself. You could live in five different countries and play hockey and get paid for it. What? Like, how fun is that? Right? You can go to college and play Canadian University, Division One, Two, Three, NCAA, ACHA. Like, there's endless possibilities. If you love this game, just keep going. Keep going. If you're a good teammate and you work super hard, there's a level for you. If you whine and cry, you're out. Honestly, you're out. You're a bad teammate, you're out. You're selfish, don't move the puck, you're probably out. You might be really good when you're young. Some of our best players at 9, 10, 11 years old, best players on the ice, don't move the puck. Coaches like them because they score goals. By the time you're like 15, 16, your teammates push you out. See ya. Don't pass the puck. I don't pass the puck to you. Then are we worried about being the very best, or are we worrying about being my best? A lot of people start to worry about being the very best, and that kind of gets them on the wrong track. So have fun with this game, be a great teammate, and you'll be able to play for a long time.
Thank
Brandon,
Thank
any
you very much,
questions before
Hilly.
I?
Appreciate you coming
Yeah, you
on,
bet.
and a lot of great things from great points from what you're talking to the kids there. And hey, kids, just like the similar situation, right? I'm one of your coaches. Scott was one of my coaches, and now we continue to keep in touch every so often. And that's what the special thing about sports, hockey, coaches, teachers is that you can continue to keep in touch, and you always have someone in your corner, right? So whether you're trying to ask questions about hockey, about life, about cars, or whatever questions you have, you can go to these different coaches, and I think that's what's awesome. And yeah, so thank you very much, Hilly, for coming on. Appreciate that. Some great points that they can think about. And we'll move along to Jane and Louis.
Hey
Thanks,
Brandon, how's
Hilly.
it going?
There they are. There's Louis. Good.
You hear me?
Yep. Can
Awesome.
is Jane on as well?
I think so. Jane? She was on. Anyways, I guess I'll get going and then she should be joining any minute.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. You can chat. Yep.
So yeah, it's an honor to be here. I think it's going to be tough to follow up on Scott's speech. A lot of great insights for parents and kids in general. But yeah, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Louis Leblanc. Grew up in Montreal, Quebec. I'm a former first round NHL pick for the Montreal Canadiens in 2009. I played 50 games in the NHL, over 300 pro games, NHL, AHL, and Europe. I also went to Harvard, graduated from Harvard back in 2019 after 6 years of pro. When I returned to Harvard, I was also an assistant coach there. So, anyways, long story short, I've been in the business world since graduating from school and been helping out, families and players and then trying to create partnerships with different folks in the hockey environment to help students and players and parents navigate the complex world of hockey, right? And I joined late, but I think Brendan was talking about, some great stuff there. But um, I want to be an additional resource to everyone on this call here and help Brendan with what he's trying to do on the West Coast. So if I could be of any help to you guys, feel free to reach out to Brendan, and I'm sure we'll be connected. But I think Jane just joined, but before I introduce Jane, I just wanted to say and kind of build on what Scott was saying is, I think you want to create good habits in, everything you do, whether it's on the ice, in the gym, in the classroom. And the people who've made it to the top are the ones that work the hardest, the smartest, and everything they do is 100 miles an hour in every aspect of their lives, right? So, and I don't know if Jane was an athlete, but I guarantee you she was very committed, very disciplined, and very, organized with her academics. Jane also went to Harvard, and she's working on great things right now. And, as part of, being an athlete, you also want to consider your academics, right? Because, like I said, I went to Harvard, but if I didn't care about my schooling in elementary school or even high school, more importantly, high school, I would have never got the chance um, to go to one of the best schools in the world, right? So, as much as hockey is important, I urge you to focus on your academics and start thinking about that as early as you can, whether it's preparing for SATs, improving your writing, where Jane is going to maybe, she's going to talk to you a little bit about what she's doing, but really do extra on every aspect of your life, right? You want to work out more than the guy beside you. You want to skate more than the guy beside you. And then you also want to do more schooling than the guy beside you, because at the end of the day, there's so many spots on rosters, so many admission spots at Harvard. Or, if it's another school, Princeton, Yale, there's a ton of other great schools in the US if that's what you want to do. But, I think if there's one message you could take away from me tonight is really do more than the person sitting in front or beside you. And at the end of the day, you'll have no regrets, and you'll be in a good position. So with that said, I'd like to introduce Jane from Letterly. Jane is a founder of an ed tech company out of Saratoga Springs, New York, upstate New York. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm in the business world since I've graduated, and my venture fund has invested in Jane and her vision and what she's working on. And I think it's a great opportunity for her and you guys to learn more about what she's doing and potentially, benefiting from what she's working on and helping you get to where you want to be academically. So with that said, Jane, if you're on, I will pass the puck. I will pass the puck to you.
You're hilarious.
And you could take over from here.
Thanks, Louis. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Louis. Thanks, Brandon, so much for having us. My mic wasn't working earlier. But for those of you who don't know where Saratoga Springs, New York is, I live 1 hour away from the Lake Placid Olympics, so 1 hour away from Miracle on Ice. And that would be the only hockey reference that I'm going to make, because I actually don't play hockey at all. But I was an extremely, extremely dedicated athlete. My sports were swimming, and I would literally be swimming something like 20 to 30 hours a week during high school. And I know so many of you are familiar with just that grind of getting up at 5 a.m., just putting on all the gear and just doing something that you really don't want to do because you want to go back to sleep and you want to hit the snooze button, but you don't. And I was also a tennis player and actually played junior championships at the US Open. So all I did was basically train, and sports was my life. I didn't grow up wealthy. I'm from New York City originally. I didn't grow up wealthy, and the only affordable way to feed me with how many calories I was burning was all you could eat Chinese buffets. If you guys know, Anyway, I'm here to really tell you a couple of things. Yeah, Louis, thanks so much for the introduction. I am a Harvard alum, graduated 2012. I did not wear this hat on purpose, so it's kind of embarrassing. I'm wearing it now. But I'm also an entrepreneur, and I'm a founder of an education technology company that really strives to unlock stories within students. And you'll see how this is going to relate to you guys in just a moment. But business is a sport. Entrepreneurship is a sport. Sport is really a mindset. And it's how you approach everything, right? The discipline, the resilience, the focus, the teamwork. I'm telling you guys, this is really going to shape the rest of your life. How are you going to handle things in really high pressure moments? How are you going to structure yourself? How are you going to drive towards an ultimate goal? And I loved it. I could definitely say with a lot of certainty that I would not have had the achievements I did in in academics and in business if it weren't for that mindset. Um, I actually was a history major. I was a writer. I loved the liberal arts. I don't know. How many of you guys know who Mitch Albom is? How many of you know the book Tuesdays with Morrie? Oh my God. Yeah, yeah, no, yes. Okay, some of you guys know. Okay, so Mitch Albom wrote like the most gut-wrenching like book ever. If you go Google it, it is the only book that makes like grown men cry, I think. Like that's what it's known for. It's about someone who is, well, don't want to give spoilers here, but he had Lou Gehrig's disease. And it's a degenerative disease. And the way it was written was just so heart wrenching. A lot of people don't know that Mitch Albom actually started out as a sports journalist. Because if you really think about yourself, whether it's on the rink or in the pool or on the court, like wherever you are, every single athlete has stories behind them. It's all about emotions. And what I absolutely loved when I was a sports journalist in high school was really about capturing not only the emotions of the game, but also the players and the athletes, right? When you think about the post game interviews, when you think about, hearing about their triumphs, the passions, the dedication, like the losses, like those are heart, like those are gut wrenching, right? The losses. I mean, there are so many things that you can tell. And so, one of the things that I would absolutely love to work with athletes, especially young athletes, is how to capture those stories. How can we make sure that the stories of your game live on past the game itself in words? That is really what we're trying to do with Letterly. As a little bit of a professional background, I am not a teacher by trade. I was actually on Wall Street for about 10 years. You'll actually be absolutely amazed with how many finance and also like hockey, actually specifically hockey recruits come in and out of the finance world. I was an investment banker and a hedge fund analyst. We actually had several interns join our fund who used to be like on the Bruins team. Like it's actually really amazing and also not surprising at all because I mean, to Louis' point, right? He was also in finance. That drive is something that does not go away, whether you're at school or whether you're at work. So I hope to thanks for listening. I really enjoy meeting you and I hope to be working with you guys soon. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Jane, for that. And just for the parents and players listening, yeah, we could see some stuff in the future here with Jane's platform of writing. She has some great ideas that we've talked in the past about how it could relate to athletes, sports, and hockey players in general. So, again, just continue to work with the players, of course, with the on ice skills and gameplay with the tournaments and all that, and becoming a better hockey player, but also continue to work with them just to do what we can with being well-rounded athletes and well-rounded people, so that they can take wherever they get to in their lives, but hockey journey, and yeah, use these skills and these experiences to what they would like to do in their futures. So now we will bring on Megan. Thank you very much, Megan, for thank you, Jane, and thank you, Louis, for that. And Megan, if you want to say hello.
Thanks, Brendan.
Yep, thank you. Is Megan here? I saw she was.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm here.
There she
Can you hear
is.
me?
Yep,
Awesome.
there she is.
Um,
Perfect.
Thanks, Brandon. I think I know quite a few of you already. But just to introduce myself, my name is Megan Bouveur. Brandon asked me to come and kind of share my journey throughout the hockey world, as I did start in Victoria as well. So I started in JDF. I moved up to the South Island Royals, which is now the Victoria Reign. If there's any Reign players here, it is the equivalent. I then went to play for the Seals, Shawnigan, and it eventually led me to playing in New York for Long Island University, which is a Division I program, which is pretty cool for me. I was really happy to go there, and the experiences were awesome. I learned a lot of leadership skills and just the fact of getting to meet new people. I think hockey in general is a great sport to be able to do those things. And Brandon, I'm not sure if you had any questions for me specifically other than
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no, thank you very much for explaining all that. I think if you just want to chat about the good experiences that you had
Yeah.
in local Victoria and as you got older, obviously, as much as hockey, we try to take hockey as fun all the time, but there's definitely roadblocks and speed bumps throughout the journey,
Mm,
whether we're getting cut, whether we're not playing much, whether some other things outside of hockey get in the way of that. And yeah, if whatever you want to share of like the goods of what these players for sure, and then parents
of course.
obviously listen in that what they
Yeah,
may see in the future.
for sure. So I'm 23 years old now, and for my age group, a lot of female players had to play on boys' teams growing up because there wasn't always the female teams as an option. So unlike them, I actually did play solely female hockey growing up, which I felt was pretty unique compared to my peers, and I think seeing all the great opportunities for females, especially in Victoria, being able to watch it grow over the years has been pretty cool. I did go on to many BC tryouts, so for Team BC, and my first year with the U18 kind of program, I didn't make that team, and I think it was a really great learning experience for me. I think everyone kind of not that we want those setbacks, but I think we need them in order to make a step forward. And I did end up making the team the next year, which was awesome. We got to go to the Canada Winter Games, which is kind of like the Canadian Olympics, I guess we could say. So there's like figure skating and all those kinds of things there. Um, as for if people are thinking about like academies versus playing minor hockey kind of thing, the reason I ended up going to Shawnigan was just more so for myself. I felt academically and athletically it would be a great fit for me. So I went there for 2 years, grade 11 and grade 12. But I did start out in minor hockey as well. So I think it really depends on what you're looking for and what suits you best, is what I would say for that. Because yeah, it is a lot, and going to university academically from Shawnigan, I had a lot more time, to be honest. So if anyone's, I think you might be a little young yet, but if we're thinking about the university route and how to kind of balance those things, I think academically you do end up having a bit more time. But I had a lot of fun. I was a 45-minute train ride from New York City. So that was pretty awesome. I got to experience a new place. And that's another thing that I would say for both players and parents. Just if your kid has the opportunity to go experience different parts of the world or things like that, I think it was a super huge growing experience for me, both as a person and a player. And just to be open-minded to all options, I think.
Great. Yeah, Megan. So how about that was all amazing. And how about some hockey things that sounds like when you didn't make the team, and I'm sure it's happened more than maybe once, but what did some things that you did and it doesn't have to be hockey stuff like shooting the puck all the time, shooting pucks outside all the time, but like some things that you did that you can contribute to making it to the NCAA and your hockey career.
Of course. So I think growing up for me, a big thing was my confidence. I didn't have that high level of confidence, and I was on a team when I was younger where I was kind of the person who was supposed to pass it to the best player on the team, and that was my role. And I think having coaches that believe in you is a really impactful thing. And also just developing that self-belief yourself was something I really had to work on, and that was actually at a younger age, so even before Team BC. But I think as you are able to improve those skills and just see and trust in your own abilities, I think that confidence comes, and it not only applies to sport, but also it's translated into how I carry myself as a human being as well. And I think that sports have so many lessons to take out of that. And same thing with being cut from the team. I think it happens to everybody, and there's two options: kind of give up, and that's what it is, or I never gave up on that goal, and I wanted to make Team BC the next year, and just working off of what you have. So you were good and you were there for a reason. And I think trusting in that, but also recognizing that we can always grow and develop both as players and people, whether that was shooting pucks or getting stronger or learning more about the game or things like that. I think there's always things that can benefit us in the end.
Okay, and one more thing, Megan. I recall you were the captain of Long Island, were you not?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was also
So
the captain, one of the captains for 4 years when I was there.
yeah, in
I
the
think,
first year of that program, right, when it
yeah,
started. So if
yeah, that's
you
right.
chat a little bit about that leadership side of uh, guest speaker Scott Hillman was mentioning to them about if you are the captain or if you don't wear a letter to be a leader. And I don't know if you can mention some things that whether it got you to become a college captain or just a leader in general of being,
Mhm.
yeah, part of the team.
Yeah, of course. So for any parents listening as well, I'm not sure if you might have a different opinion, but my opinion of this is that I know people talk about leadership being something that you are kind of born with or something like that, but I believe that it's something you're born with, but in the sense of like characteristics and attributes you might have that could contribute to you eventually becoming a strong leader. But I also believe like any skill, it's something that you can develop and work at. And I I really am passionate about leadership, I think, and I don't believe that's why I got a letter. It's for me personally, I think it more came down to leading by example. So I know oftentimes we'll probably see captains being the outgoing person in the room or things like that, but it's not always the case. And I think playing to your strengths is the best piece of advice I could give, recognizing what attributes you're able to bring to the table and your strengths and just being yourself, because I think it's very easy for people to recognize who's genuine, and that's ultimately who they want to be their leader. And I was very open-minded to input from other people, my coaches, and things like that. And just took it as an opportunity, I think, at the end of the day. So, all in all, I would say recognizing your strengths and going with that is ultimately the best thing you can do. At the same time, developing those other things that might need more work if you are wanting to be a leader. As for what Brandon was talking about, and Scott, he mentioned about not needing a letter to be a leader. I fully agree with that. I think a lot of times, even at the beginning of my experience at school, because it was a new program, we did have a vote as to who would be the captains at the start. And I was not one of the most outgoing people on the team by any means, and I actually was not one of the captains right away. It took a couple months and then I was awarded one, but I think when it comes to popularity and things like that, it can impact who people see as the captain, but eventually I think the true attributes come out. So you don't need to wear a letter to be a leader. I think everyone can be a leader on a team. It's just about playing to your strengths is the biggest thing I will say.
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah.
Playing to your strengths and what you bring to that team. Again, like all these speakers, be a great teammate and do what you're best at. And the how you say this, the ones that go far and the ones that can play, so say at the top levels, are most of the time the best at what they do. Um,
Yeah.
so
And just to add one more thing, I think as well, leading by example is a huge thing. So being able to, like, as a leader, if you, or like leader or not on the team, just a leader, but if you want to speak to your team or say, hey, let's do this better or something like that, if you're not doing that yourself, I think it becomes a lot harder to have a say and be able to voice those things to your team. So first holding yourself accountable and then going out from there is the best method, I would say.
thank you very much, Megan, for sharing your journey here in Victoria locally, obviously, and um, your hockey and your leadership stuff. Thank you very much. Last speaker, thanks to everyone for holding on. I'm not getting better at this to make these shorter, but trying to make it closer to an hour. But our last one is Aaron Mackenzie. Aaron from the Yetis USPHL down in Utah. He's been on the call the whole time, I thought.
Yeah, I'm here.
There he is. This is Aaron Mackenzie, a former teammate with the Surrey Eagles back in 2003. Some of these kids were not born. We got some 2017s, 18s, 16s. I see a lot of them here in their videos. And then we have girls 2000, geez, what are we? 2012s, 2000, maybe 11s. We have some 2009s, which is U18, maybe 2008. So yeah, anyways, long time ago that we played together, full season, and then we came back to the same team, and I was traded to Power, but Aaron went on to win the BCHL Fred Page Cup, and yeah, he
Got
was
to
a
rub that
goalie.
in a little
So
bit.
thanks for joining. If you want to introduce yourself a little more, Aaron, how your hockey stuff and like your personal hockey stuff, and then yeah, your team with the Yetis.
Yeah, so I'm Eric Mackenzie. Played with Brandon in the BCHL. After that, I went on to play a couple of years in the minor leagues for in the United Hockey League, the Central Hockey League, and then finished up in the East Coast Hockey League. But one thing I wanted to touch on that everybody else did is like your work ethic. I mean, it doesn't matter if you go pro, whatever, like that work ethic will last you a lifetime. It will follow through work everywhere you go. And like for me, like I didn't think I would ever, become successful in the business world. Like my whole life was hockey, but after my hockey was over, I had to figure out something to do. And now I'm one of the top people in the engineering aerospace firm. And it's just my hard work just got me there. I wasn't the smartest, but I was the hardest working, and it pays off. And so for some of you guys, if you're not quite skilled yet to make it to the BCHL, the WHL, the USPHL is a great opportunity to get your skills up, develop your game a little more, and move up. I moved up 6 guys last year to a higher level, and then my 20-year-olds, I've gotten both them opportunities to go to schools, and now they're going to school next year to play in Acha D1. So it's never too late. You're never not good enough. It's just a matter about how much work you want to put in.
Yeah, and all about being resilient and continuing to take those leaps forward. So, Aaron, I mean, we've been in touch over the years. Sometimes we haven't talked for I feel like a few years, maybe sometimes 5 years, but as of late, the past 5 years we have. And from you, um, join like joining that team last year, it was like mid-season, was it not?
Oh, I joined the beginning of the year, but we only had when I signed, we had 6 goalies and 3 players. And so we didn't even have enough guys to make the team. And like we were so stressed, like we were scrambling. I was calling you all the time, everybody I could. I was like, I need players, I need players. And eventually we got a full team right before our first game, just enough to make league minimum. And then as the season went on, like I got in more like better players and stuff. I've moved up tons of guys and moved down guys, and we ended up making it to the playoffs our first year. But man, it was a struggle, that's for sure.
Yeah, and just to add to that, so Aaron, I mean, junior hockey, it's a huge age group, I guess we'll say, of like 4 years. Lots of players. They're all in different parts of their career. New ones coming in to learn the level, to show their skills as a young player. You got middle-aged players, lots of players going through different things. You got older players that are so-called veterans and trying to get to the next level, but also can be sometimes content. And yeah, it's just a different age grouping and different what's it grouping of players really. And sometimes teams don't move that many players on, and that's been the past. And I feel like in our hockey world today, including here on Vancouver Island and Greater Victoria, more teams are moving players around and trying to push them along, as it can become a business a bit of trying to win and show that they can win. So what Aaron's trying to say here, that is their program continues to move players up, give them opportunities, whether they can stay with that team above or they come back to Aaron's team. So, Aaron, would you like to chat maybe a little about what your program looks like from a daily or weekly standpoint, like what they do, how many games they play, and yeah, just maybe some players where they come from outside of Utah?
Yeah, so we've only really had one Utah hockey player. We've gotten guys in from South Korea, Hungary, all over the Czech Republic, Canada, all over US, Canada. I just signed a guy from Quebec yesterday and a guy from Malaysia. And so, yeah, we bring in guys all over. Our daily routine is we're on the ice from 10 to 12 every day, and then in the gym from 1 to 2, and then some free time, and then we'll have like video and stuff at night. So it's a full day of work. And you could really wean out the ones that aren't going to make it, that don't have that drive. And like everybody was been telling you, your work ethic is everything. And it will, like, it might seem like work, but it will help you in the long run. Hockey, financials, business, whatever you want to do, like it definitely pays to work hard and give it your best.
Yeah. No regrets, just like
Yeah.
our slide presentation at the beginning. Remember, appreciate what you have. Not only you're allowed to play hockey, your parents put you in, they take you all the time. You show up, give the hard work, listen to coaches. But some of your friends and some kids out there that as you grow up and get older, um, some kids don't have the opportunity to play hockey, whether they're just not allowed to, or uh, early morning practice, no one wants to go, whether maybe that's parents I want to take them, or sometimes, just there's a financial part to it that they just can't. And so you guys should all feel very lucky to be able to play hockey. Again, our Wildcat program and BW Skills is additional to what you do during the winter to continue to train in your off season, so say, but to continue your hockey seasons to about 8, 9 months. Yeah, and so the hockey journey is amazing, and just like you've heard from all these um, guest speakers, you can meet tons of different people, go to different places, play hockey, show your skills and your talents to many different people all over the world, and you meet tons of different fans and teammates and players that you play against. Like Louie and I played against, or Aaron and I played on the same team. Right? Scott was my head coach. So lots of different things there. Aaron, you want to add anything a little bit more to?
So just gratitude, guys. Like, be grateful for even being on the ice. Be grateful for your parents driving you to and from the rink every day. It's a lot on them. It's a lot on you guys. Like, so just be grateful. Gratitude is one of the things that will make hockey fun, make life fun. So just be grateful.
Great. Thank you very much, Macker. appreciate your time sharing your program with the families. And for all of you kids and parents, thank you very much for or joining us for a really long um, Zoom. It was been an hour and a half lately. If you have any questions, I can stay on for another like 5 minutes or so. If you want to type them into the thing, Aaron, you're good. All the speakers are good. I can type them in. I can try and answer some stuff. But yeah, again, appreciate you all. And we start up. You'll see your team practices probably in the second week of our spring break. Skills will start this Saturday, so you will be getting your discount codes for your 16 sessions. Probably, I'm hoping no later than Friday, could be tomorrow. And you'll see that in the team snaps. So again, we're a little later on scheduling this year. We were waiting for the rinks, but yeah, again, we're still polishing up our management side and continue to build and grow our team side, we'll so say, with coaches and players and that stuff, and just trying to continue to give a really good product to you all and a certainly a fun experience as the past 3 seasons of spring have been amazing. And yeah, again, we're trying to work with the kids, so there's going to be ups and downs and everything. And kids, you got to keep pushing through, and that's where um, the coaches may challenge you, but also try to help you. Asking questions is super important. Again, NHL head coach, sorry, former NHL player is a head coach for our Wildcats. We have lots of former players that played junior hockey level, Grizzlies, BCHL level, Cowichan Capitals, all these other teams, college level, as you saw some of these guest speakers and pro. And some players have gone to NHL training camps and stuff. And over the time, we've had some that played in the NHL. So lots of resources there. But any questions, please put them in the chat. I'll stay on for another 5 minutes. I know it's dinner time for everyone or it's past. And yeah, we should have an exciting spring. One question?
Brendan, thanks everybody. This is amazing. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I put a question in the chat, but everybody was so thankful, so it probably got lost in the chat. But both my kids would really benefit from hearing this, but they're both currently on the ice.
Yeah.
So will their recording be
Yeah,
sent
I'll
out?
put it in a
Yeah.
YouTube here after it loads,
Okay.
hopefully it won't be long, and then I'll put it in a YouTube and then we can post that in all the team snaps. Yep, so it should be
Awesome.
good. We
Thank
haven't
you.
had any issues with recording it in the past, but you never know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. Anyone else? Owen, did you have a question? Okay. Are you shooting pucks or balls into your net behind you? You're in the basement, I see. Anyone else? Yes, actually, that's a great question. Jeez. Empire, yes, is talking with Justin is they want to offer 5 till 6 o'clock. It sounds like that time is open. Also, what's advertised is 4 till 6. So Justin Mans at Empire um, Athletics and Wellness, they're putting on 16 sessions for $270, an amazing, amazing price for dryland and for the older players for weights. Um, it's $15 a session, which is extremely low for that type of training. Um, we have been talking, Justin and I, over the past few days, and we're hoping that more athletes and these players will sign up to that. We're trying to grow that program. Again, that price is phenomenal, and Justin has been around for a long time. Don't really want to speak on what he's done, but I know I met Justin around the South Island Royals days when the 2004s We had a big group of 2004s that trained with BW back in the day that are now in college. I'd say at least five of them, if not more, maybe even closer to eight local players. And they all went with South Island Royals, went to Justin's program to work out, and a lot of players liked what he did. Anyways, that was the feedback, and yeah, lots of them in college. One of them is a Ottawa Senators draft pick locally here, Owen Beckner, and just other names. So yeah, hopefully you can check out that. It's in our newsletter, and if you have any questions that way, but registrations for the Empire Athletics is there, and it's again a great deal for what Justin has stepped up to do for kids, the families, and our program. Anyone else? I can, well, while people start asking questions still is IBHA, ball hockey stuff. We will be doing more skill development stuff, just like what BW hockey provides. Um, the Greater Victoria ball hockey as well as has been around for a long, long time, and it sounds like they've had, I think I've heard this, they've had record um, registrations, which that's also kind of a similar thing of what's building as up the island in the Cowichan Valley, North Island, Nanaimo, and Port Alberni, which are all pretty new. Sounds like they got some pretty good numbers there of young uh, ball hockey players. It's not just ice hockey. There's other athletes in there, soccer players and all that stuff. So if you want to have a look at that as well, IBHA or um, any one of those locations in ball hockey, they're on social media as well. So that registration is going on right now as well. All right, I think that's it. But again, scheduling's coming out. And yeah, we look forward to an awesome spring. It's going to go by extremely fast and fun, and definitely a lot of the players will be challenged and developing, meeting different coaches and certainly different players and families. So lots of friendships made that way and positive experience. So we'll see you all soon.